G'day, it's Cliff here from Down Under. In this video I'm going to go into CNC Lathe Toolsetting, specifically mounting your tools in the turret and gang tooling and setting your tool offsets. There's quite a bit to it, and it might actually stretch into two videos. I know I've had a few emails asking about what's the best tool for tool setting, and is there some sort of probe you can use to quickly set your tool offsets? So I'll go into that. Cheers. I've been looking into slant CNC tool setting, and unlike setting a milling cutter in a mill, there's two stages to setting your tools in a CNC machine. Stage one is mounting an alignment of the turning tool, and stage two is setting the tool offset. And because there's many different shapes of tools and many different mounting methods of those tools, I don't think any one probe or setter can do the job. You can't just have a ball-ended probe as we do in a milling machine and adapt it to work in a lathe. There's good reasons why a flat or faceted setter such as this is going to be, in many cases, more useful. But even so, there's no one setter that does all the different tasks. You've got to think about this as quite a different set of geometric problems. One thing I've learned in the last year setting and running production jobs in a CNC lathe is that setting the tools, mounting the tools and setting the tool offsets is a big part of the job. Unlike in a manual lathe, with an automatic lathe with a turret and gang tooling and so on, getting those tools right takes quite a bit of time. It's a big part of the job, and how well the job progresses is very much dependent on the quality of your mounting of the tools and the accuracy of setting them. And so having good equipment and a good methodology for mounting and setting your tools will not only save a lot of time, but will help the machining process to go smoothly. So I've been thinking deeply about what types of equipment and technology is going to speed up this process. That is a big part of production machining in a lathe. I used to think about this in my early days when I was operating manual lathes. Setting the tool height, for example, was often problematic. You know, you'd think, oh well, I'll just use the center in the tailstock, or put a center in the chuck and set the height with that. But often the tool orientation would be wrong, and I couldn't use the center in the tailstock. Or there was a job in the chuck and it wasn't convenient to use the chuck end. So then I thought, okay, well, I have a cylinder that's on the lathe center height, and I can just slide that into position and set the center height. And that was a big time saver. I realized that these gauges really do save a lot of time. I could quickly set my tools up irrespective of the orientation and whether I had something already in the tailstock or the chuck. When I got my new large lathe, first thing I made was a setting cylinder for setting the center height for the quick change tool holder tool heights, and that was a big time saver. Now that I've got a CNC lathe, I'm looking at ways to speed up this process. And you know, it's a lot more complicated because in your turret and your gang tooling you may have boring bars, drills, and they need to be aligned with the Z slideways. They need to be mounted securely in the right position, and then the tool offsets need to be set. And the problem is that you've got a slant bed that doesn't lend itself to having a cylinder sitting on the bed. Something like this sitting on the bed is obviously just going to fall over with gravity, and so you have to have one hand holding it all the time. You really need both hands free for setting your tool, for the mounting alignment and the tool offset setting. So that's problematic. I found that in some situations a simple pointed type setter held in a chuck or collet was a very useful tool, and even more useful was this D-shaped half diameter setting tool, and that would be very useful for setting a lot of tools. But there's still a problem with the X position and the rotary alignment of it. So I've been thinking of ways to come up with a different setting gauge that's going to be even more useful and speed up the setting process. There's a lot of geometric problems here. It's not just a matter of having the tool holder hole in the line of the center line of the spindle of the lathe. Sure, you can check that that bore is in line, and you'll find it probably won't be exactly in line, but even if it is in line, it's also got to be in line axially, so that the drill isn't on an upward slope, or the reamer is not on an upward slope or a sideways slope, that it's not only in line where the shank fits into the bore, but is in a line at the end where it's doing the cutting. So there's quite a few different aspects to setting CNC lathe alignment compared with a milling machine, and so we need to think carefully about the stages involved. The first stage is mounting and aligning the tool, and that's quite time consuming if you want to do precision work and have high quality results. The second stage is setting the tool offsets. So given that I can't use a cylinder to rest on the bed because it's just going to fall over, I've been thinking about what type of gauge I can use, and I've made up this sort of prototype, which is just a sheet of aluminium and a little block that fits on the dovetail, and that can effectively set the center height position. Let's just zoom in on this now. You can see there's a little line on the center line for the X position, and for the tool height, the top surface of the gauge is on the correct height. So now that can be slid and be a big advantage for setting your boring bar and turning tool, because you need to have it at the right height and obviously the right X position. And there's more to this than you realize, because often a boring bar top surface is not level but is on a slope, and having a gauge that is on the correct center height really helps you to quickly set that position. I don't want to get too long-winded here with all of this geometric stuff, but I'm sure some of you will find this really interesting. Obviously, if you've got a little line there, you can't set your diameter or X accurately with that line. You need to take an actual cut and measure it with a gauge to set the diameter. But having a surface like that is very useful for setting your boring bar height and rotary position, because the rotary position of some tools is also critical. Not just the height, but how it's set this way is very critical. Not all tools are set to be level. Some of them have to have an intended height, an intended angle. And the problem with using a D-shaped setter in the chuck, let's just slide this gauge over, you can see there the problem is you never know whether you've got it set on the correct rotary angle for alignment, and you don't really know where you are. So having this gauge referencing off the bed, I think, will be a big time saver. There's a lot of problems associated with tool setting in a lathe. Say you want to dial in that bore for putting in a drill or a reamer on the center line of the lathe. So you think, I'll just sweep it in with a dial indicator or a Blake coaxial indicator. It's not as simple as that. There's problems with that because you've got gravity. Unlike in a milling machine where the spindle's vertical, on a lathe the spindle's horizontal. And if you rotate your dial indicator to sweep it in and adjust it to that position, you may not be dialing it in on center. Have a look at this indicator here on the side, this one here. We're on 0 there. If we rotate it round half a turn, now where are we? Now you have a look at that now. See there, we're 5/100ths out. So let's swing that back. So you're measuring there the effect of gravity. So that whole dial indicator is sagging under the weight of gravity. And that's just the relative difference between two dial indicators at that distance out. By the time you get out to where the tip is, you could easily be a lot more than that. So you're actually setting the bore off center without realizing it. There's a lot of traps when you're setting a horizontal position. So the problem with sweeping with a dial indicator when it's horizontal is that it's sagging down from the top towards the center line, and when you rotate it round it's sagging down from the bottom away from the center line. So you're getting a double offset error there. And there's other problems with sweeping in a bore, such as these gang tooling bores or the turret bores for holding the shank. You might think you've got it set up concentric, but then when you actually lock up your tool, see I've got a dial indicator there on the end of the tool, when you tighten it up you very often get displacement errors through the tightening process. The precision fit of the bushes and tools and the grub screw positions and so on are highly likely to throw the tool off center again there as well. These sort of issues are compounded with a low-cost machine like this that's not made to high tolerances. If you've got a 150,000 Japanese machine with high precision tooling and chucking and so on, these problems are less. But you know, it's really helpful to be aware of the sort of problems you have. I've had a few emails from people asking to recommend a probe for setting their tools and tool offsets, and really there's so many of these types of issues that with these low-cost machines I don't actually think there will be a simple probe that will set all of your tools. One of the problems is that when you actually take the cut with these types of machines, you're going to get tool spring, tool flex, racking of the slideways, and under the cutting motion of vibration of the machine running, you're going to get a slight shift in position. So the only way you can really set, for example, the X, the diameter, accurately is to do a test cut and then measure it. And you'll find that if you did use a probe and set your tool, that it wasn't the correct setting anyway. You still needed to adjust it a thou or two to get the actual cut. That is factoring in tool spring and machine vibration causing slideway settling and so on. Well, I'm very conscious that I don't want these videos to drag on too long. They're pretty dry and I'm trying to go deep and give accurate information, but on the other hand I can just hear a lot of you yawning in droves. So I'll split this into two, but I'll publish them both at the same time. So if you are interested in getting more of this technical information, go and get another coffee and then play part two. Alright, cheers.